In this video, we are discussing the coordinate geometry. What is the coordinate system? In the two-dimensional coordinate geometry, we are using two types of coordinate systems. One is rectangular and the another is polar. Coordinate system is used to define the location of anything in the two-dimensional or three-dimensional, but the scope is limited to the two-dimensional only in this video. So there are two types of coordinate system in the two-dimensional. First is rectangular and the second is polar. So the scope is for two-dimensional only. The rectangular coordinate system is also known as Cartesian, and in the Cartesian coordinate system we use the ordered pair x and y to define the location of any point. X denotes its x coordinate and y the y coordinate. And in the polar coordinate system it is represented by r and theta, where r is the distance from the origin of the particular point and theta is the angle. What are the rectangular coordinates? Rectangular coordinate axis. There are two perpendicular axes in the system. These represent the x-axis and y-axis respectively. The point of intersection of the two axes is the origin, and we name it point O. The horizontal line is the x-axis and the vertical line is y-axis. X-axis is named as x and the y-axis is y. And the left hand side of this is named y dash, x dash respectively. So x dash O x is a line which is x axis, and similarly y dash O y is y axis, and the central point is origin point, and the location of any point can be described by these axes in the two-dimensional manner. The two perpendicular lines are dividing the plane in the four regions. The first region, second, third and fourth. And these four regions are known as the quadrants. That means we are having four quadrants in the rectangular coordinate system. First, second, third and fourth. The origin has the coordinate 0 and 0. That means this is our starting point, in which displacement in the x direction and the y direction is 0. And if any point moves in the two direction, its location can be named by the ordered pair x, y. Ordered pair x, y is a must to define the location of any point. For origin, it is 0, 0. These are known as the coordinates of the origin. Now, we see in the x-axis, the direction OX is a positive direction and OX dash is the negative direction. In the same manner, OY is positive and in the downward it is negative direction. Now what we observe, that the first quadrant is having the x and y both coordinates positive. Similarly, in the second quadrant, x is negative while y is positive. And both the coordinates are negative in the third direction. In the fourth, x is positive and y is negative. Suppose there is any particular point P whose coordinates are x and y. If it is in the first quadrant, then both are positive. We can make a chart to understand this thing. The quadrants first, second, third and fourth, x coordinate and y coordinate. In the first quadrant, both the coordinates are positive. That means the ordered pair will be positive positive type. In the second quadrant, x is negative, y is positive. So we are having this type of pair. If both are negative, it is third quadrant. And in the fourth, x is positive and y is negative. These are the ordered. In the ordered pair x and y, the x coordinate and y coordinate have specific names. The x coordinate is known as abscissa and y coordinate is known as ordinate. We can see that the x coordinate is the length from y-axis. And the ordinate is length from x-axis. This thing may be clear from this diagram. This is x and y axis. If it is any particular point whose coordinates are x and y, so this point is having distance from both the coordinates x and y. This distance is x and this distance is y. And the point is named P. So the x distance is the distance from y-axis and the length y is the distance from x-axis. If there is any point on the axis, suppose the point is on the x-axis, then its distance from x-axis is 0, or we can say that the y-coordinate is 0. So we may write the point x and the y distance is 0. And if a point is on the y-axis, then its coordinate may be written as 0 in y, because its distance from the y-axis is 0, that is the x coordinate. By knowing all the things about the two rectangular coordinates, we can plot the point. How to plot the points on the axis? First of all, we will draw the two axes. Then for example, we have to plot the point 5, minus 3. This is A point. Then minus 2, 4. This is B point. And the C point is 3, 1. For plotting these 3 points, first of all, draw the coordinate axis. And name them, which is your x-axis and which is the y-axis, and also the negative direction of the two. Mark the origin and decide the suitable scale. Generally we may take 1 centimeter equals to 1 unit. Scale may vary on both the axes, on x-axis and on y-axis, and it may be same. 1 centimeter equals to 1 unit. These are the classified points on the x-axis and on the y-axis similarly. Negative direction of x-axis and the y-axis. Now first of all, we plot the first point, that is A, on the system. It is having 5 of the x coordinate and minus 3 on the y coordinate. So we proceed 5 steps in the x axis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we have to go 3 steps downward in the y direction. 1, 2, 3. And the combination of the two is the required point, which is A point. Its coordinates are 5 and minus 3. Similarly, to plot the point B, we are having that x coordinate is minus 2. So it is minus 2. Y coordinate is plus 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. And for plotting the points, draw the perpendicular lines, and the final point is B, whose coordinates are minus 2 and 4. And in the same way, C point will be 1, 2, 3 and 1 in the y direction. This is the C point. By viewing the coordinates, we can identify the quadrant directly by the table which we have made in the starting, identifying the quadrant of point. For example, certain points are given to us, that is 3, 5, 2, -7, -5, 8, -4 and -4, 2, 0 and 0, 5. The first point is having both the coordinates positive. That means the first point is in the first quadrant. The second point is x is positive and y is negative, which is a condition of fourth quadrant. Similarly, the third point, in which x is negative and y is positive, so the point will lie in the second quadrant. The fourth one, both are negative, so it is third quadrant. There are two more points which have one coordinate 0. That is the fifth point in which y coordinate is 0. That means the point lies on x-axis. And the sixth point in which x coordinate is 0, the point lies on y-axis. Suppose it is asked to locate a point which is above x-axis. Condition is given that the point is above x-axis and lying on y-axis and at a distance It is distance 7 units, and we have to draw the location of point. Clearly, the point is above the x-axis, that means in the first or second quadrant. It lies on the y-axis, that means in the O y direction, and it is at a 7 distance. So if this distance is 7, the point P is the required point, and its coordinate will be 0 and 7.